Hi, it is Tuesday, October 7th, 2025. We have some real action in these financial markets right now. Two different things that are playing out simultaneously that sort of maybe seem unrelated, but actually they're playing into a big picture of what's going on. And so you've got this hatred going on, of course, the team red and the team blue, just nonstop. Gotta let you know how immoral the other side is. Gotta let you know how the other side, everyone needs to be imprisoned, and everyone needs their lives destroyed, and everyone's subhuman, and all the typical shit you get when children don't know how to resolve their problems without violence and haven't learned empathy or why other people disagree with them. Then you've got us, we libertarians, who everyone just ignores and maybe just casts into a bucket of, well, it's us versus them and they're not us, so they must be them. And despite the fact that we may disagree with them on a huge amount of topics that they claim are important to them, they still just... it's a real sickness that exists right now. It's a spiritual sickness. It's people wanting to have control over things that they simply don't have control over, who have thus far lacked the honesty to say they don't have power over them. Both these teams are reliant upon the credit of the United States, and that credit's going to collapse. I promise. As someone who has spent their adult life studying finance and economics and financial markets and financial related things, I am 100% sure of this. So, going back to these financial markets, the two things we're seeing. One is in the silver market. We are seeing backwardation, which means that the front month futures contract, which is the December contract right now, is trading at a lower value than the spot price, which is the live physical price of the metal. So you have to pay more to get physical metal now than you have to pay for someone to keep it in storage until December and then deliver it to you. Normally, markets don't operate that way, and they operate that way when there's a physical squeeze on the market. And it's been in backwardation for a week straight, and I've never seen it in backwardation that long. Maybe it's been in backwardation that long, but I don't remember seeing it. The price of silver is up at $48 an ounce, which is just short of the all-time high. And it appears to me that there's a war going on between the paper shorts and the physical buyers. And with the price staying elevated, it appears to me that the physical buyers are winning that war. Now, some of that physical demand relates to the other thing that's going on in the markets right now, which is that the Japanese yen is collapsing. If no one told you. Maybe they forgot. Maybe they weren't aware. People aren't real good at listening. And when I say they're not real good, I mean they don't listen at all. It's just not part of their program. They haven't learned the lesson that I learned that I talked about at the beginning of my book. This massive psychic change that I had where I realized I should listen and understand why people disagree with me. I've been down that road now since 2017. And I'm still a libertarian. I have found points of disagreement with other people that are closely aligned with that. I don't call myself an anarchist. This is a whole other matter. I believe in hierarchy. I believe in land ownership. And to me, each person should be governing their land, essentially, with very limited restraint from a charitably funded security force that will prevent things like slavery, trespassing, nuclear weapons, and the abuse of the defenseless, right? This is a very specific, very nuanced solution I present in my book because we need specific, nuanced solutions. We don't need a general, oh, just get rid of this, get rid of that. We need a transition and a recognition of what is real. The fact that we have hundreds of millions of people in this country that don't have any gold, that don't have any silver, and that will begin to starve to death when this credit bubble collapses. That's an important reality people need to come to terms with, even if it's not ideal in the sense that you wish you were right and you wish you'd just known everything from the beginning, like a god. You didn't, you don't, and you're not. So the Japanese yen US dollar trade right now, you're looking at over 152 yen to the dollar. Typically in the past, at around 151 is when the Japanese bank tends to intervene to try to protect their currency. So far, they haven't done it. So you got this whole carry trade. The Japanese yen has historically been weak, and people borrow weak currency so they can pay back weak currency, and they can buy all this shit with it. And so as the yen started falling, and it started falling this time because they elected some new president, a prime minister, someone who's going to apparently be going to devalue the currency. They're a stimulative president, right? They're like Trump. They like to debase currencies. In the anticipation of that, the yen has debased. At the beginning, this inspired the carry trade. So you've seen these speculative assets, cryptocurrencies, going crazy, running up from where they're at, 114,000 on Bitcoin, all the way up to 125. But now the yen is at 151, 152, pushing 153. You're seeing those things sell off because people are thinking, oh my God, if the yen's collapsing, the Bank of Japan is going to come in, they're going to intervene, they're going to reverse this carry trade, and everyone's going to sell. So they're jumping the gun, they're getting out before the Bank of Japan does that. If the Bank of Japan does that, I expect you're going to see a massive, massive sell-off as this carry trade unwinds, which is something we've seen before when the Bank of Japan has intervened. But the Japanese, they're sitting there with this depreciating currency thinking, God, I need to save my purchasing power. Because even though the Japanese government is an insanely in debt, 250% of GDP, Japanese individuals are savers, and they have a bunch of yen and a bunch of Japanese bonds, and they're getting fucking nervous. Because if your currency's collapsing, your bonds are collapsing too, and you need to say, you've spent your life saving this shit. So they're buying gold and they're buying silver. So Japanese retail gold and silver, I'm hearing, is fucking out. There's a panic. People can't find the fucking metal. Retailers elsewhere are starting to run into problems. You can still get gold. You can still get silver from the big U.S. retailers, but it isn't like it was from what I'm hearing. And there are big orders coming in that are putting some dealers at low levels of inventory that are going to be difficult to replenish because there's such a squeeze coming from so many places. The Chinese, the Indians from India, and people around the world were already doing this. Central banks were already getting into these metals understanding that fiat currencies are a pile of shit. Americans, for the most part, still haven't figured this out. And for the most part, they're still at each other's throats, trying to kill each other, hoping the other side just dies somehow, right? We got a real crisis in America we're going to need to deal with. And this isn't going to be a productive way to deal with it. This government is going to become unable to fund the entirety of its expenditures. It's going to become unable to fund ICE. It's going to become unable to fund the prison system. It's going to become unable to fund Israel. It's going to be unable to fund all the social programs that the left wants. It's going to become unable to fund national defense. There is zero that it is going to be able to fund when the dollar and its credit collapses. This is a big deal. This is important. But here we are. So, I don't know. No one's buying my book. No one's listening to me. No one seems interested in anything other than trying to hurt the other team. And they're on the edge of a cliff, and it's going to be really fucking ugly when they run out of cliff. My book is based on this. It's based on the idea that people will not wake up until this collapse happens. Until they cannot go and acquire food, they will not wake up. Because it's going to need to be their bodies are going to need to inform them of the reality they can't buy food. Because their minds cannot do it. For whatever reason, cognitive dissonance, spiritual bankruptcy, they are incapable of developing empathy right now. All they are capable of is hatred, cruelty, and trying to hurt other people. And I don't give a fuck what team they're on. It's all I hear all day from any of these fucking clowns. We're going to have a real fucking crisis. And if you want to survive, you'd better fucking get some assets that will hold value before it hits. Because we're not all in this together. A lot of people in this country hate you. And I don't care who you are or what you believe in. They hate me. And I want to get rid of the whole tax-funded government that supports all the shit they don't like. On a personal level, I'm off THC right now. I've used it to numb, to persevere, to get through what's a very uncomfortable, unhappy life in this world. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know how much value it's going to provide, but that's what I'm doing right now. My book, I haven't had time. I've been overworked. I've been exhausted. I've been busy. Our deadline's in a week. Hopefully after that, I'll get back into it, But even now, I think about some of these nightmares pending beyond that deadline and wondering how I'm going to fucking do it. But I got to do it, right? God didn't put that book in my mind so I can never write it, never finish it, right? I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe someone discovers the manuscript in 5 years when everyone's living in a fucking cave. And it makes good kindling for someone's fire or something. I don't know. I guess I just wanted to vent. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed. I feel for Trump because, I understand that, all this government has to go away because it cannot be funded. And even though he doesn't understand that, he is still facing backlash when he does try to cut stuff. So it's almost like, man, you should almost just give them everything they want, their free healthcare, their UBI, and just see how fast the currency collapses and everyone starves, just so they know what a stupid fucking idea these things are. But, you elect you know, Special K or whatever you call her, you'd have breadlines right now. You'd have shortages because she would have price controlled, and then you'd have massive, massive supply chain destruction, starvation, famine, violence. I mean, I guess we're going to have all that anyway, but it makes my life easier that we don't have those because I'm positioned for this. So even if prices rise, I'm prepared for that. I've understood that was going to happen. And so I've positioned myself to prepare for that. I don't know. I guess I'm just taking it a day at a time because I don't know what tomorrow holds. I mean, this silver market, man, you're sitting above this all-time high. If the shorts capitulate here and you see that fucking thing break out over 50, it could really, really shoot the moon, man, because it's inevitable. People need to protect themselves from these irresponsible governments, from these fools who want to spend money they don't have. And eventually everyone's going to figure that out. And the Chinese, the Indians, they figured it out pretty quick. Now the Japanese are figuring it out. Eventually everyone's going to figure this out. Or they're going to perish before they do. But it won't take them that long to perish. Because these debt levels are fucking insane. And you're seeing one of these governors saying, "Oh, we're not going to send any more tax revenue." We're just seeing some civil disobedience. People are starting to take the government less seriously. You just, and as its purchasing power descent, I mean, it's just you're seeing a breakdown even now, even before the credit bubble collapses. So it's hard. It's hard to be around people, honestly. There's some people are cool. I don't want to act like it's everyone. There is this silent majority of people who aren't on either Team Red or Team Blue, and that includes us libertarians. And no one's perfect, but some people are cool. So I don't want to say no one's cool, but what a time to be alive, man.